I'm going to try again today. We've got full correct parts to rectify the water leak that was coming from the thermostat housing, which leaked into the bell housing. We've already changed the clutch, we've already had this out once, but I'm going to do it again today. Take the engine out so we can get to the back of it, put all new parts on. We do have the correct ones, so let's get to stripping. We'll take the front crash bar off again, take the wheels off, and take the drive shafts out just to give us access. Taking the front panel off now, disconnected that connector going to control the gearbox on the engine loom. This 8mm wire from the fuse box comes off with the engine, so I've disconnected that. This can now just sit up behind there, well out of the way for it coming out. Just gonna follow all these down now. Got to disconnect this one, disconnect that plug, and then the loom from the engine I think is pretty much ready to come out. Then it's underneath the exhaust and the drive shafts. One of the connectors on this loom actually goes in the fuse box, so you disconnect it by lifting the grey plug. That slides out, and then it comes out the weatherproof bung there, and it's just another one of the clips holding it in, so that's free. So all of the wiring loom disconnected from the engine. There's nothing over this side that needs connecting other than the fuel pipes. Got that top one off, the feed, just take that return off. Right, so we've taken everything off the top of the engine, just in the process of taking the drive shafts out. If you undo the big nut on the drive shaft, obviously I've loosened this one off. Just give that a knock to make sure the drive shaft goes through. It isn't seized in the... It's bouncing a bit, so you can... That's it. So just make sure that slides in there. Taken that nut off. We've undone the bolts that hold the bottom ball joint onto the arm, so you can take the arm down and release it from the arm is free. Then you can literally pull the hub out of the way. The drive shaft will release, and underneath it just slides out of the gearbox. And that's it, released. So we're just setting the engine crane up, everything's disconnected and it's ready to come out. While Cole's roping up the engine, I'm going to loosen off these two bolts holding the engine that side and the Torx bolts on this side, so once the weight's taken we can just get those straight out and take it out. Right, engine lid's going in. Just put a bit of cardboard under there because the bracket bent a bit last time. Just touched against the bed, it didn't damage it, but just throwing it out. Safety string. Was it over here more last time? I was at the middle.
Oh, it's about right.
Right, so lifting that as soon as it starts to take the weight of the engine, you can take the bolts out. Right, I'll work on this side first. Two right hand side bolts coming out, obviously the engine's supported on the crane. Only this side left in. So now the weight of the engine is just on the crane. We think everything's disconnected, but as soon as all these come out, we're just going to pull it forward slightly, have a look around it, make sure there's nothing fouling, and then we can pull it to where we can work on it. Time is being set, we've got a 2-hour challenge. Take it out, repair it, get it back in again. Right, last engine bolt is nearly out. That's it. We should be clear. Now, because that bracket's here, we have to drop it down a little bit to get past that first. Okay, we'll drop it down a lot. It is on that, we might have to go up a bit. I don't think there's much room on that side, is there?
No, but it caught last time. How much further up?
Let's go, just try and drag it past it. Oh, sorry, earth wire. First mistake of the day.
Oh, you can't.
Got an earth wire down there, I've not disconnected. Let's take that off. Right, we'll try again. Taking that earth lead off. Nothing around the back. This side is always a bit tight. Could it go over that way in it? Not really. We turned it last time, didn't we?
I can go lower.
Okay.
Can you go lower that way?
Yeah, it's clear this side-ish. Right. Yeah, a bit lower, that's it. What's that wire? Oh, okay. Right, so engine's out. If we try and get it straight again. And there we have it. Engine's out. Oh, that's good. It's only broke the pipe that's on it. It's not broke the pipe that we need. Okay, it's all good.
Is that going?
Right, so everything is loose on the intake manifold. Hopefully, in fact, I am going to take all the wiring off that's on it, because we do want to actually remove it. Where's the flat blade, Ethan?
Gave it to you, mate.
Flat blade's here. Let's take all these wires off, because that's obviously going to be holding it. Got on the bottom there. Okay. These are these black plastic clips that seem to be everywhere, holding everything. That's that one. Okay, so we can see the pipe here now. That's the pipe that we're going to change. And we should just be able to pull it out. So we don't need to set the manifold off any further. We'll just get some pliers for the pipe. And it should come out like that. You can see that's the part that's left on the car. Luckily it's only broken this pipe and we've got a new one for it. Then you're going to be looking Just one thing to note on this, but the boot release is electronic, so obviously no battery and no power connected, it won't work. So by putting jump leads onto it, onto the fuse box, we've got power there, we've got ground to an earth point. We put the positive on. Negative on. Unlock. And then we should be able to open the boot. And there's all our parts. Just going to make sure we disconnect that while we're still working on it, just so nothing bad happens. Got a new thermostat housing here. It has got the pipe that has a clip on it. It's still got the two sensors on it, but we have got with this unit connecting wire. So the 4 plug will plug into the car, and these two go onto what's on the housing. Same thing again. Just going to lubricate this seal. This goes into the other end of this pipe. Down here, can you get that? Thermostat housing sits in place. And that goes into there. Now we need to make sure that that obviously goes in as far as it can do. So I'm going to get nuts and bolts onto the thermostat. We've got a 10mm nut at the top, and we've got 2 8mm bolts that go into this. Just get both of those seated. Fasten them down slightly, and we just want to keep an eye on that pipe and make sure that it draws in properly. Okay, so yeah, it is drawing that pipe in. And that's sealing quite nicely. Where it was leaking before, it was leaking in this housing from the top and dripping down there onto the engine. So you can see why it's all over the bell housing and on all the wiring that was there previously. So that's tight. Get the other 8mm tight. The other 8mm tight at the bottom. So we just got the 10mm on top. So I think we've been doing this wrong. We've been putting that into the water pump first and then trying to get this to marry up. This has always been where the failure point is, where it's leaking. So you can see we've got a lip on here which needs to sit in that lip on the pipe. So it needs to go in like this. We're going to do this side first and just make sure this sits in there, and then slide the clip on. So that is now connected, and we're going to try and now put the housing on and put this end into the water pump. We've greased both of them so that it slides in. That would have been very tight without grease. The manifold back on, now all the pipes in place. Just want to make sure here it's sitting behind it, which is not. So I'm going to take that in first, and then that one. I won't show you us tightening these nuts up.
Tell people to subscribe.
I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but that pipe is clipped onto the coolant pipe. The new one that's gone on, so that's all on and secure. New air conditioner radiator in place. I stupidly thought I'd have to drill these off to get the mounts, but Colin just pulled one off. And that's these plastic bits that just sit in the mount. Take the blanket plates off. We may as well use these new bolts that have come with the new one. So it plugs out. What the hell?
There's a bit of pressure in there.
Wasn't expecting that. Glad we got that. Yeah, make sure yours doesn't do that or you're expecting it. Okay. No, should be no pressure left in it, hopefully. I wonder why I had caps on that.
At least you know it holds pressure. Not sitting very well, that.
He'll pull it. I don't like the way they're sitting. Right, let's see if we can get the front plastic bits on. Go that way around. Guessing that is going to be that side. Oh, it's plastic. Is that going to be that side? It must be, mustn't it? So, top tip, before you put this on, put these plastic things on. Much easier. We had to just remove that a little bit to put those back on again. Crash bar going on. Battery box all back in, ready to connect. Beautiful wife giving us some water.
See if it starts. That's nice and easy. And now we'll just let it warm up, make sure we've got no drips, and if it does drip, I'm going home.
So it's mission accomplished. We don't appear to have any water leaks. Putting the pipe back on the intake manifold, the housing for the air filter, and just rebuilding up from the back forwards. That just sits on two rubber bungs, just pushes on. This clips on there and just one bolt there. I'm going to put the filter housing back on. So the good news is it's all back together. We've got absolutely no leaks and it's all coming on nicely. When I put those two gearbox engine mounts in. I only did them up loose, forgot to tighten them. So the battery tray's out for the last time, which also allows me to fill the gearbox. The gearbox filling point is actually on top, and it's just got a little sort of air vent cover on top of it. Forgot all about that, to be honest, until I came round to doing it. I've got myself a little funnel, slow process because obviously the air needs to come out as well, but just putting 2 litres in now.